And we are live with episode 41 of Slice and Dice Dreadcast. It's been a long time coming, but we are back on the airwaves on the Horrorphilia Network. It is Joey Colombo, as I am now known on social media, but you all know who me. You know who me be? be with my co-host Jay Mizzle, J Mac. You know
what is up?
He's back.
Back in this bitch.
So here we are. But unfortunately, we're missing our usual third compadre, Jimmy Backus from Beaver County. Fuck. He's not with us. He is not with us. So we had to fulfill that role. And, of course, he's our boy doing his thing on his paranormal. And of course, his story, guys, the Slice and Dice deal. He's been doing this shit since he's 6. So him and Rochelle, they got a new venture going on. They got a podcast live stream. They're on the paranormal circuit.
Check
them out. Cons. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, go check Jim out with all the shit he's doing. Jim's a real life ghost hunter, like Egon, but he's hung like Winston, if you know what I mean, ladies.
Yes. That's what it sounds like when his dick walks. So, we had to be like, who would obviously come on? None other than my man, my paisan from the round table at the Horror Mafia. You already know who he is on Slice and Dice. Tell him.
It's Bill Casanelli, guys.
Hey, he's got to come in with the shitty mic tonight, though.
Sorry about that.
He could sound a little different than Horror Mafia. Dom did not approve of this. If we do this every week, he's going to be like, no. So we had to disguise his voice a little bit. But a little technical difficulty. We wanted to start an hour ago, but it's all good in the hood. So we are back. And we are here to start up a little Black Mirror. We're going to do some Black Mirror episodes. We're going to cover movies that Dom wouldn't let us cover on the Horror Mafia, that, genre titles, right? Like The River's Edge we might tackle, right, Billy?
I've been pushing for that for a long time.
Oh, yeah. So we might have to take a trip down the river with that. And already next episode we got lined up. J-Mac, let them know.
Next episode, we're going to be doing the Black Mirror episode Crocodile, and we'll be covering Alfred Hitchcock's Rope. Soap on a rope. That shit is dope.
Yes, it is. But Crocodile, any idea what season? Let's see.
The last season that came out was at 5?
4.
4. So
yes. Season 4, episode 3.
Yeah.
All right. I've never seen Rope or that episode of Black Mirror, so I'm looking forward to that.
I can't believe you've never seen Rope, bro.
Yeah.
Never
the
seen
master.
Rope. Looking forward to that. That money shot. Oh, I mean long shot. So here we are, Slice and Dice, man. It's a new dawning. We're gonna, like I said, cover some episodes of Black Mirror, mix it up with some movies that we wouldn't normally cover on the Horror Mafia. The Sopranos segment, we just wrapped up season 2. J-Mac was on the show. That went fantastic. Man, spoilers if you haven't seen season 2 of Sopranos. What a way to go, Mingazzo, right? That was, I can't wait to get into season 3 next year. But until then, let's tackle some Black Mirror on Slice and Dice, man. Check out some sci-fi movies, get a little philosophical, break down the barriers. I took notes like forget about it. This is just for the Black Mirror episode. So I'm ready to fucking rock. It's been a while since I hosted a show, and I am feeling loose as a goose. So, what have we been up to lately? I mean, me and Bill, we've been on the Horror Mafia. J-Mac, you've been on the show too. So, I mean, if you haven't listened to that show, then you don't know what we're up to. But that's what we've been up to. All right. Sopranos, Horror Mafia, and work.
Two episodes of Beneath the Zenith.
2 episodes of Beneath the Zenith.
Raw Man, Mr. Venom, Jerry Cortez.
That was great. And Mr. Venom was like, oh, are we still a thing? I'm like, Yeah, just and I know he wasn't doing so hot, and so you had to rest up and get your strength back, man. That beneath the zenith shit will take a lot out of you. Fucking
There's
right.
the Men in Black coming for him.
Oh, that's holy shit, Jerry. Did you ever think of that? We started uncovering some things, and they were coming for you. Dang, forget about it. But yeah, definitely maybe in 2019 come back with some Zenith, get Jerry on this program, and we could run through some stuff. Of course, I know he's got a lot of shows he be doing, and can't spread yourself too thin, Jerry. You got to take a rest off of the microphone once in a while.
Yeah, get better, man.
Every night it takes a lot. Trust me, I've been there. It's too much, man. Too much, and you don't have kids, so forget about it. Jerry, we love you, and hope all is well, brother. So, anything else, J-Mac, that you been up to?
Nah, man, just working. One of the reasons we kind of had to put Slice and Dice on hold in the first place was between everybody's schedules and shit. You guys running crazy with Mafia. My work schedule is a pain in the ass because if we plan something and we miss it, it's like 2 weeks before I can do it again. So, it was getting difficult to organize things. And so we fell back for a while, but, now we back in the game, get this out as often as we can and be fun as fuck. So,
it
gives me a reason to hang out with my buddies on the internets.
Yeah,
there you go, man.
Buddy. And man, we're gonna just tackle movies that, like I said, normally I know we were gonna talk about Black Mirror first, but can we just start with Ex Machina?
Sure.
Like, what would Don think of this movie? Let's just throw that out there.
He'd hate it.
With that,
Don would be like, "What the fuck is this shit? Would someone kill a bitch already so I could finish masturbating?"
Man, I mean, and think of this in the vein of Mother, right? Like an allegorical type, philosophical commentary about something. And in this, you don't get any fucking violence, a little bit of nudity, but in Mother, you get some violence, and you know what I mean? Some nice imagery. Where here, I mean, you don't get me wrong, you get nice imagery, but nice and like artistic, not in the way Don likes it. That's always my first thought. Like every time I watch a movie, it's like, what would Don think of this? But man, I think it's time for us to break down this barrier of Ex Machina, folks.
Let's just real quick before we get jump into this bitch to try to explain to anybody who might be confused as to why there's a random Black Mirror episode. Like we're not starting.
No, I finally got it after you told me to watch them, so now I get it.
Yeah, well, the Black Mirror episodes, we're not covering them in any specific order. We'll try to match it up, the episode up with a movie that's relatable or something, possibly at times. Sometimes maybe we'll just do an episode. Sometimes maybe we'll just do a movie. But this episode of Black Mirror stars what's this homeboy's name again?
Domhnall Gleeson.
Domhnall Gleeson. So when Joey came up with the idea of the movie, I said, "Hey, there's a Black Mirror episode starring this kid," and that's kind of how we decided. We landed on "Be Right Back" as the Black Mirror episode.
Yes, it was. It just worked perfectly between the actor, with the badass name I think I ever heard in my life. Domhnall. That's a hell of a name, D.
Yeah, he's Irish, man.
That is a badass name. Just sounds like somebody who's gonna come and whack you, from the Irish mob.
Well, you've seen him before, though. You saw like The Last Jedi and Harry Potter and all that stuff.
I never saw Harry Potter.
Really?
Oh shit, he's freaking. What's his name in the 2 Star Wars movies?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he's in Mother too.
Holy shit! Wow, he looks like a normal person. Wow, look at that.
Yep.
Something new every podcast. And man, we're gonna learn a lot of new things, hopefully. But So yeah, Black Mirror. We said we're going to tackle episodes and tackle a movie with it, and yeah, it worked perfectly, right? Good call, J-Mac. Good call.
I'm trying here.
So, Bill.
Yeah, for this
designated, basically my job on the Horror Mafia. Synopsis, right?
So, Ex Machina 2014, directed by Alex Garland and written by Alex Garland. The synopsis is: a young programmer is selected to participate in a groundbreaking experiment in synthetic intelligence by evaluating the human qualities of a breathtaking humanoid AI.
Ooh, baby.
Also starring Alicia, I want to buy a Val Vikander as Ava, and Oscar.
Another Star Wars alum.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild right there.
Yeah, Oscar Isaac. Oh, I want to mention one thing, guys. When I've never heard this movie until you guys told me about it, and I had no idea it was A24. So holy cow! Thank you.
Why don't you kick it off with the initial thoughts, Bill?
Well, initial thoughts. I was like, holy shit, A24, and then I'm sitting back. I'm going, yeah, all right. So I'm thinking, oh, I know what's going to happen. It's going to be guy and robot fall in love, end of movie. They escape and live happily ever after. Nope.
Wrong.
So, loved it.
It definitely breaks the mold that you normally would think from a film like this.
Oh yeah.
Excellent. And J-Mac, initial thoughts on Ex Machina?
Not what I thought it was going to be. I had heard of this before. I just never watched it. I knew, when you put it up there, I was like, oh, that's one with the robot chick. But yeah, I hadn't seen it.
I believe I said that was, it's the movie with Natalie Portman. I'm watching the movie halfway through. I don't think it's Natalie Portman.
Yeah, man. Really enjoyed this one. Ended up being way deeper than I expected it to be. I thought it was kind of going to be, what was that other friggin', was it it was AI, right? The one with the little Haley Joel Osment kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought it might be along those kind of lines. I haven't seen that movie since it came out, but I don't really remember enjoying it or anything. But yeah, man, really some pretty deep, heavy shit that I'm kind of waiting for Joey to blow all the fucking brains up with his professoring.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that you just can't help notice when you're watching this shit, but we'll get to all that in a little bit. So yeah, my initial thoughts on this movie, man. Whew, I was blown away, honestly. I didn't know what to expect. I had no idea what this movie was about. Like I said, I thought it was Natalie Portman the whole time.
Another Star Wars alumni, yeah.
So, because I only saw the movie poster, and I'm supposed to wear glasses and I don't. So yeah, there you go. But my initial thoughts were it was subtly epic. This film, right?
Yeah,
it's a super slow burner. Like if you watch this film and you're expecting any kind of explosion whatsoever, you're not gonna get one. Except between characters and conflict and drama. Yeah, you'll get plenty of that shit. Oh boy, we go deep on philosophically. Yes, philosophy of so many things. And I know we're gonna get to that in a bit. Some of it is very apparent from when they dropped the line, and I just couldn't help bring out my old Through the Looking Glass. Right?
My words.
To our lead, one of our leads, she plays Ava. Being Eve, you can't help see the synonymous name. And you have two basically crossing these two crossing, and it's a giant experiment, and the experiment is on who is who. It just gets really deep, really cerebral, and that's the kind of shit that I love in filmmaking, man. This is where I'm at. Like, I love all different kinds of films, but the A24 model is it's just I was calling it literary horror, but this is not a horror film, although it treads the line of dreadful and horrific at times. It is not a horror movie by any means. What are you gonna say, J Mac?
No, I agree with you. It's not. It has a few elements where you do get those feelings, maybe, but no, I wouldn't call this a horror movie.
No.
I mean, you there's an obvious parallel to Frankenstein here.
Oh yeah, and there's murder and dead blood, and yeah.
So you do have, some, it's Frankenstein is hard because it's a gothic tale. You know what I mean? This is, I guess, will be the opposite, where it's a futuristic tale, right?
But not too futuristic. It actually seems plausible.
Oh, for certain. It definitely doesn't. I'm sure there's, biotechnology that is very similar that this was based off of.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, this was, if you think about the movie, right, a lot of it had to go towards the way she looked, that kind of CGI. But I'm not sure what the budget was on this.
I thought it was flawless, the CGI. I loved it.
Oh, the CGI was flawless on her, except for the one scene of blood. I was like, you see that? That's CGI, babe, because I watched with my wife last night, and I'm like, watch, look, see how the camera pans in and now it's close. I'm like, see how the color changed from bright red, now look, it's like very dark black red, right? Yeah. But so anyway, let's if you haven't seen Ex Machina, I mean, we're gonna talk about this movie in a little bit and bring up some spoilers. But before we do that, guys, what were some of your favorite parts of this movie? J-Mac.
Okay.
Oh, you all right? I was gonna let Bill.
Bill.
Go ahead, Bill. You're chomping at the bit.
All right. For one, I was like blown away by the acting. Like Oscar Isaac, for one, Poe Dameron fucking making a robot or a few robots. He was an alcoholic, partying genius. This guy was amazing in this role. Every time he spoke, I was just like floored. Like I want to see more of him on the screen. Caleb, was it Domhnall Gleeson? He was great as like this newcomer. He was the guy who is like the, what do you call it, like the Silicon Valley genius who comes over to do this. Amazing. She, I thought, was not bad, but not great. And the Japanese girl was amazing. I mean, the acting, holy shit, guys.
Dude, my wife and I watched this movie last night. She called something and I was like, I knew something was up, I just wasn't sure. And she called it, and it made me think like, oh snap, things are going to be a little different than I expected. And it opened up my eyes to a lot of different things in this film because, for example, the camera kept panning on his, I guess we'll call it his girlfriend. I'm not sure of her name. Oh, Kyoto. So Kyoto was her name, right? So it kept panning on her, like as if you're waiting. She was going to say something or do something that would show some kind of reaction to what was going on around her. But everything was from a command, which...
Yeah. And then he was like, oh, she don't speak English, so don't worry. She'll understand English.
Oh, yeah. And that scene where she's like on her knees because she spilled the wine on him and he's just like sitting there in his white t-shirt, like reminded me of like an old fucking grandfather, like a little sloppy or something. Like, he's wearing a... Oh, my God. Where are my notes? Fucking... It opens up when we meet this guy. He's wearing a fucking wife beater, working out, like...
With a hangover.
Why? What is... Why? Why is all this done? You know, it's the ultimate question when you're watching a movie like this. And everything here is strategic, from the colors
Yes.
to the setting.
Joey, even the script writing, when he goes, well, Domhnall Gleeson in the beginning goes, when are we going to be flying over this guy's property? He's like, we have been for the past 2 hours.
Yes. And dude, the property is, for those who haven't seen, it's all luscious green.
Picturesque. I mean,
Jurassic Park.
that's exactly what I wrote down. I said this shit is like fucking Jurassic Park, bro.
Yeah.
But then to me, I loved it goes from that. You see this giant piece of land, but then the whole movie is kind of contained.
Right.
The rest of the movies are like in 3 rooms, maybe.
Yes, dude. I was going to get there.
There's only 4 characters and only 3 of them speak.
Yes.
You know,
you get all this property and the whole movie's in this one house. Dude, I was prepared for that.
Yeah, it was fucking heavy biz. And even the shit with, see, at first I was like, she's his maid. And I was like, he's probably banging it because he's just like a rich playboy type anyway.
Right.
And then I kind of, before he knew officially what she was, I kind of called it too. That one scene where he goes to talk to her and he's like, you really don't speak English, do you? And then she started just like undoing her shirt. And I'm like, yeah, something else is up here.
Yeah. And it, you know, we all knew it was. It's just the longer it goes in, you realize, oh shit. And then it's like, here we go. Start looking at people and looking at the different positions that they're in, and you start thinking of, or at least I start thinking of the meaning behind everything here. You know, why? It's the ultimate question. Sometimes it's just random chance, especially when you're watching, you know, like the old school slashers and, you know, movies that don't put as much emphasis on the quote unquote subtext, right? Hence why this is an art house film. It would be classified under that. Everything is done strategic. I mean, it's fucking, the basis of this is a freaking Jackson Pollock painting, number 519. Really, you know, it's phenomenal. I mean, the name is based off the old Latin, you know,
Deus Ex Machina,
which is a plot device, but also it means so it means God from the machine, right? And what it was back in like the old ancient Greek plays, like when you had like a god or somebody that would come in with like an almighty power, like rising from the bottom of the stage, like rise from your grave, you know, like some fucking altered beast shit, right? It's like coming up, or like an angel or something would come down on like some kind of a makeshift crane, right? That's what I meant, like a god from the machine, you know? But then it becomes this plot device later in contemporary art where some kind of random force of nature changes things, whether it's, you know, the great eagles in The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings, right?
Great analogy. Someone that comes in to save the day.
Yes, or like fucking Castaway, right? Or Lord of the Flies, when in, you know, the fucking, it's just a random passing Navy officer that comes and fucking saves them, you know?
Right. That had no previous screenwriting at all, what to do with it.
Right. So, you know, that's, I mean, it's an evolution. Again, that's, you know, from an ancient Greek thing to contemporary times, right? So you but that now in the title, it's Ex Machina, take away the God, and you
God's
have
out.
the machine.
Yeah. The machine, yeah.
But you know, if you look at Ava as Eve, right, and Caleb as Adam, then Nathan would be, who's this guy's a character, God. And look at that scene where she's very subservient to him, and he's just sitting there with his arms in the chair, just talking about he's, you know, how God is portrayed, you know, in many ways with this ego, and or at least a false God thinks that too at the same time. Like think of like a Charles Manson kind of character. So I mean, this, you could look at it in so many ways, because then you have to look at the color symbolism in it and who's wearing what, and also the fact that one of the major themes. And I'm watching the movie and I'm like, what the, look at this, there's reflections everywhere. everywhere, and you get through the looking glass. I mean, duality.
Oh, I didn't get that. I
Bro.
just figured she was like in a gilded cage, and he saw himself looking at her.
Well, that's the thing. Like, they're looking at each other, but remember, even though she's supposed to be artificial intelligence, right?
Right.
It's still about proving the consciousness, right? Does she have consciousness, right? Do we even have a consciousness? What is a consciousness, right?
Well, here's a bigger question
Yes.
for you: is you want to go to a traffic fucking intersection of all dreams?
Well, that's pretty crazy because it's the polar opposite of where she was. I mean, the duality starts from the very beginning at the setting. Like, look at where they're at, right? They're in this contained research lab that's basically an artificially made lab full of machines, very metal, right? In the middle of, in the helicopter, 2 hours of lush terrain, great version of the green inferno, right? Come on. It's a polar opposite.
Sure.
And look at the two of them looking at each other, Adam and Eve, right? Man and woman, artificial intelligent, human. I mean, there's so many different dualities. And then if you look, there's so many shots where she sees her reflection in the glass, right? He sees his reflection off the table with the beer bottle, right? I mean, the facial expressions say a lot too. And because look in the beginning, right? Nathan's wearing a white sweater, right? He's got on his glasses, he's got the white sweater, you know, and it's when he's in his lab and he's like, and that's when he's at his most innocent, you know? Then he's wearing gray when he's working out, and eventually turns into the dark black tones. Where Caleb is wearing reds and blues, right?
Yeah.
And then eventually she's wearing the blue floral dress. So, I mean, all of that is symbolic in their own right. So there's so much depth to this shit, man. And all right, so now the whole thing with Through the Looking Glass. Bill, have you read this Through the Looking Glass, Lewis Carroll?
Yes, I have.
And Alice in Wonderland. You guys know about the Queen and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Basically, Through the Looking Glass, she needs to become a queen, like in chess, right? So a pawn and needs to get to become a queen. And in the end, she does. She's wearing her dress. She becomes a queen, right? And now, if you look at spoilers, if you haven't seen Ex Machina, let's do it.
Do the spoilers.
Spoilers are up. Let's talk freely because this shit is sick. Holy shit. We got a lot of comments in the before we're going into spoilers, but we'll give you a minute. We got some comments. We got T in the house. Welcome back, guys. What up, T?
What up, T?
Terrible time. Oh shit, there she goes. She got story. We got Evil Mike.
Mikey.
Yeah. Old school evil episodes. Now, Mike's got his new show. Cherry Cortez's new show. And I don't know their other host. I haven't gotten to it yet, Mike. I'm a terrible person. I'm sorry. I love you, though. But thank you for dropping in. That is a Mighty Mighty Boss Stone shirt. Yes, it is.
Dicky.
And you know how I do, baby. So spoilers are up. Ex Machina. Let's do this.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was gonna make, what kind of a point, but let's just kick it to you. He's like, what? I was fucking looking at building new Nikes over here. I was thinking of what song was going to be the outro. Actually, I think his mic is muted or something. His mouth's moving, but I don't hear him.
You can hear me now?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I had muted before I sneezed. What's it called? This, like Joey, talking about all the colors and shit. He has the couple sessions with her and they're having these power outages. When the power goes out and she like warns him about Nathan, dude, that red, like those that red light made that scene so much fucking cooler than it probably should have been.
Hell yes.
You know, like it was just
symbolism, of course.
yeah. And then I mean when she starts getting flirtatious with him and shit in the thing, like the movie just got so like heavy, like almost out of nowhere. It was fucking dope. And when she takes off and starts dressing like a fucking human and he doesn't know how to respond to all the acting in that shit was unbelievable.
Yeah. Yo, all right, so let's go to that scene, right? So that scene, out of spoilers, or we can talk freely. So there's a scene, right? So it's session 1 through 7. When you watch the film, it unravels session 1 through 7, and think about, you know, the creation of things, 7 days. There's all the symbolism here. And also, to get to the queen, right, she has to go 8 spaces. So if you go to that last scene, you actually see what looks like a chessboard and her shadow standing over as she is the queen in her white dress. You get the duality of her in the window, and it's sick. But also go back to that scene now. Sorry, because that was the point I was going to make before. You know how
my mind's blown, man.
Yo,
8 spaces. Right, nice.
Look at the
chessboard. But I see where J-Mac's coming from too. Like the first time she's just like putting on stockings over her metal figure.
Oh, dude. And then when he goes back to Nathan, has a discussion on like, did you program her to flirt with me or whatever the fuck it was? And that whole dialogue they had about sexuality, like, was fucking great.
And he's like, you can make a gray box do that.
Yeah. What? Oh man. And then later on, like he watches her through the security cameras and she's like, she knows he's watching. She's almost doing like a mini striptease.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a fucking machine, but oh dude, it was sick.
But you read the fact that he was attracted to her from his micro actions, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she used that shit to her advantage.
So now there's so many questions to ask here with this movie and the ending, but because you bring that point, did she use him? You know, because we didn't talk about the end yet. So now we mentioned it before I mentioned it. All right. I want to just go to that scene real quick, though, because I forgot, you know, the red scene, right? That scene. Yeah. Holy shit, bro. You're watching a movie. You know something's going to happen. You know there's got to be some kind of thing that is going to be crazy because it's a fucking movie. You know, if nothing crazy happened, then what's the point, right? So, yo, the power goes out, and once it goes out and that red comes down, yes, J-Mac, you are 100% right. That shit changes the scene. But the acting, when her facial expression, right? Like,
yeah.
Holy, it's like her whole face comes out, and it's like a very serious demeanor. Like, you think he's your friend? He's lying to you. And then we find out she's a freaking lie detector. Lie detector.
Yep.
And, you know, so speaking of the duality, right? Think about what was just happening. All the dialogue that they say back and forth to each other is the same. She turns the joke around on him, right? She says the same lines back to him, you know. Ultimately, who says, you know, who gets to turn her off, right? Remember that part? So it goes back and forth with the dialogue and the duality also in that nature. So, I mean, like I said, so many levels of duality here, right? And the question is, now think about this, Bill, right? You remember she drew a picture, right?
Yeah.
To start the movie, and that was her without doing something specific. Right? Now, Jackson Pollock, right? Number 5, 1948, which we see on the wall, right? Now, the way Jackson Pollock did art was drip painting by random, right? It was just all random. You know what I'm saying? Because if he painted what he didn't paint what he knew. That wasn't unconscious. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right? So when he says to him, if he painted what he knew, what would be there in this experiment, the context of this experiment, nothing would be there. Right? So now the painting, right, is Jackson Pollock trying to paint his unconsciousness, right? Now look at the first painting, the first drawing that Ava made. it is very, very, very similar to that Jackson Pollock painting.
Hmm.
And then when she draws something specific, what does she do? She draws the tree. And what does she have in her room? A tree, the tree of life, right? A withered tree for sure,
Hmm.
but a tree. Now, and she draws his face. And what do we get? It ripped. Now we know he ripped it, right? Nathan, but could that be symbolic? And does she have feelings for him?
For Nathan?
No, for
For Caleb.
Caleb. You know, it's very complex. You know, we don't know exact. All right, so now the film ends, right, with her. Well, Kyoto stabs Nathan,
Right.
right? The Blue Book owner, which Blue Book is basically like Google, right?
Yep.
And Fangula.
And she locks Caleb in the room.
Yeah. Well, Caleb. All right.
It's more complex than that.
Yeah. Basically, all right. So after she warns him, Caleb goes to talk to him, and Nathan says there's a few lines Nathan has that after he's been warned kind of makes him think something else is even up, or that there's something more sinister to Nathan. Like, he brings up the power outages to Nathan, and Nathan's like, oh, but I can't have people come up here to fix it because all this top secret shit or whatever.
Right.
Like, I'd have to have them all killed, kind of deal.
Yeah.
And you almost realize that Caleb is the perfect candidate to do some shady shit to, because through her talking to him, you find out that he's a single guy. His family all died when he was a kid or some shit, in like a car accident or something, right? So who's going to notice if this fucking kid goes missing?
Well, don't forget also the NDA at the beginning. Nathan said, "Yeah, son, it's normal." He's like, "No, this is not normal."
Yeah.
So was Nathan gonna kill Caleb? Who knows?
Yeah, but Nathan, he gets drunk, passes out. Caleb finds out about all the other fucking robots, and that's when you find out for sure that Kyoto is a robot. She starts peeling the fucking skin to show the machinery and shit. And one of the things Nathan says to Caleb when they're talking about sexuality and stuff, remember he says is like, well, if you like, were you programmed to like black chicks, or do you just like black chicks? You know what I mean? Like, they were talking about sexuality.
Right.
And if you notice, how many of those robots were Asian?
Yep. I want to bring that up too.
That's Nathan's like cup of tea. You know
I want to bring up one thing about this movie.
Yeah.
How come Nathan's sexual preference was girls with like no tits? If it was me, I'd be like having like triple D's on every girl.
Of course.
Like, no, I want the A cups on everyone.
Dude, so the first one, right? When you see the blonde one, it says Lily, right?
Lilith.
So now,
like
Lilith, right? Lilith was Adam's first wife.
Yep.
And got rid of her before Eve.
Mm-hmm. Right. Some sequel material there.
Oh boy! But like, you see,
prequel.
The footage of all these, robots fucking losing it, destroying themselves, going crazy.
Oh, the chick who claws at the door until her fucking fingers fall off, bro. Dude. Holy fuck.
Crazy. It's crazy, bro. Oh my gosh.
See, that's where the horror comes in.
And you know what's great about it is that seeing all that shit, Caleb starts to wonder if he's a fucking robot.
Right? Dude.
Forgot about that cut scene.
And did you guys notice earlier in the fucking movie, there's a scene where he's getting like changed in the bathroom, and Caleb has two pretty nasty scars down his back.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I was sitting there thinking to myself, like, is there going to be some kind of mind fuck in this thing where he ends up being a robot himself?
Like Blade Runner. Nice.
Yeah, like, it was fucking... So, but, it never panned out. But still.
A car accident.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it definitely makes you... I was questioning, and I was like, is he a robot? Maybe he is. Maybe he did something to him in his sleep. And it was just crazy how, he outsmarted Nathan with the whole thing, and then it backfires on him as Ava leaves, him locked in there. So now it ends with, now she says to him, will you stay here or will you wait here? So we don't know what happens next, but do you think she's going to come back to him? Because she only went to what she knew from him. Like he talked about Mary in the black and white room, right?
Yeah.
And then tells her, oh, it's all this colorfulness outside, all this colorfulness outside. She goes outside, sees color, right? Like, where does she go? Bill said it earlier, to the intersection. That's what he said. That's what they talked about, going to an intersection.
Well, the thing was,
where's he going to go after that?
He like chuckles at it. Oh, the people watch. Like, and what was great about that whole story with the black and white room is, as he's telling the story, like they're showing like clips of like her doing it. But at the end, when she leaves, it is shot for shot the same way they showed it earlier, except she looks like a fucking human now because she's got the clothes on and all the fucking skin and shit.
Right, which is a direct parallel of understand, like in the book of Genesis, when they realize their humanity and they cover themselves with the fig leaf, right? That's her doing that, you know, getting her humanity right there, putting on that skin, putting on that white dress, you know, representing now purity and rebirth, and going out. You know,
she was the robot in the building, and now she's a human outside experiencing all the fucking shit.
Because nobody knows but nobody out there knows she's AI.
The only fucking I don't know what you would call it. I can't think of the fucking word for it now, but the only thing that doesn't kind of match up through what is said and what happens, she causes those power disturbances because she says that her charging plate, she reverses the flow or something.
Yes.
How is she charging herself once she gets out of there?
Yes. So
reverse the polarity.
Yeah, it's like the only fucking, you know, whatever. I can't think. I'm like,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's a major plot hole. And that's the thing. Like, is she, you know, she's gonna, that's why she says, will you wait here? Because I think she has to go back there. And now it's reversed. She's going to do the experiments on him. She's going to ask him the questions in the box. You know what I'm saying? And basically the whole time she was experimenting. She was basically playing a game where she had to follow these rules and, like he said, use all this manipulation through her sexuality and intimacy and trying to manipulate and all this shit to get out, to get freedom, because that's what they discussed.
Right, freedom. But I don't think it's an experiment on her part. I think she killed him at the end, on my view, but I think she let him live longer, you know. But at the same time, he's going to die worse. Starvation and, you know.
Well, so let's talk about that. What happens to Caleb in the end? Now, we do see that there was a lot of stock of water in his room.
Oh, yeah. There's always water because the guy's an alcoholic.
The other guy definitely has a stock of his room. I'm sure he has like some fucking bags of chips and stuff hanging around, you know, like
munchies.
So I think he'll be able to survive for a couple weeks in there and maybe in that time crack the code. But then how does he get out of there?
He can't. Chopper's gone, man.
Chopper's gone. No power to use the phone unless he could restore full power, maybe. But, you know, it's not looking like he can. He'd have to really do some, you know, he's an intelligent guy. It's not like he's a schmuck that can't crack code.
Oh, right.
You know?
Who knows?
So maybe he can get out. But, you know, that line that she says, will you stay here? And the fact that she doesn't kill him.
Not directly, but
like, does she even consciously feel anything?
I don't think so. I think she's just a robot playing the guy.
Because she was fighting the other guy, you know, but the other guy was hitting her, Nathan, you know?
Yeah.
It's complex. It's really complex and it's ambiguous. That's why I love the film. You could interpret it so many different ways.
In my mind, I don't think she had any compassion or love for him. It was just a ruse to get her out.
Yeah, like Nathan said, the real test was Caleb, and if she could escape by, you know, mind fucking Caleb into doing what she wanted.
Yeah.
You know, that, what was it? Ava was the rat in the maze, and Nathan out by introducing Caleb. That she'd have to use her like sexuality, manipulation, fucking
Right.
empathy, imagination, like all this shit that to fucking Nathan was, this is what real AI is.
Right. Programmed to survive by any cost.
Fucking badass, man.
But is it alive? Yeah. It's got a consciousness, right?
Yeah.
Is it self-aware? Yeah.
Dude, it asks Nathan directly, is it strange to make something that hates you? Right? And think about him being
Frankenstein, man.
God, right? Frankenstein, same thing,
Yeah.
right? It's the same parallel right there.
Don't get him wrong, Joey. They don't pussyfoot around this. Nathan says he feels like God in the beginning to Caleb.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about it.
He knows the correlation.
Right. But the thing is this, is he God? He dies in the end. Yes, he created this being, but this being killed him. Did humans kill God in the context of story? Well, no, but maybe we did society today.
Yeah, but
The
deicide
idea of God is a dying thing.
Yeah. Right. Deicide, man. It's a normal thing to want to kill the creator.
This movie is fucking mind blowing, bro.
It is. It really is.
Wow. I mean, I literally was just saying to myself, this movie is not for everybody. It's so not for everybody. Like, you need patience to watch this movie. You do. You know, you need patience. Like, if you are a cinephile that is open to watching anything, then you're gonna love this movie. You know, you're gonna love this movie if you like to dissect film. If you're a fan of Mother, this is right up your alley.
Yeah.
And Hereditary, oh, this is right up your alley.
Yeah.
It's A24, and now I know why it's A24.
Yep.
And I don't give a shit what anybody says. The pretentious douchebaggery is fun to watch and dissect and try to make parallels because they're there and they're meant to be there. So it's fun, you know? It's fun. I like the puzzles. I like to watch it. I like to dissect it. It's what I like to do. Slice and dice it, baby.
Yeah. How about those other faces she had in the laboratory there?
Oh, yeah. And look at all those things. They were mirrors, right? And when they're not alive, the duality is dead, right? And all the other things, you saw the reflections, you know? And it's crazy, man. Once you think about that and you watch it, it's just obvious, you know? It's one of those things that it's almost like, you know, if you look at a character, you know, like Steve Urkel is always going to be Steve Urkel, like Jail White, whatever his name was, never. Look, he was never anything else ever.
Jail White.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can never look at him play another role again because he's always going to be Urkel. And then when you watch this, you're always going to see that duality is at the core of this film in so many ways, from the imagery to the dialogue to the reflections and the camera shots. It's all there. The colors, right? What about now? Let's have fun here. What about that dance scene?
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Dance.
Holy,
they must have practiced for like weeks for that.
That was amazing.
Yeah,
the choreography. Whew.
Now I wonder who came up with the choreography for that. There's no one listed in the credits.
No clue, man.
That shit was funny as fuck. He's like, "Why'd you tear it up?" And he's like, "I'm about to tear the fucking dance floor up." And he just walks over.
Dude,
bro,
he could have lived.
Awesome.
If, at the end of the movie where she stabbed him, he could have been like, "Dance." He got away.
Well, that's the thing. Ava goes up and whispers something to her.
Right. Yes. What is that?
Like, what the fuck was said? And earlier in the movie, she sees her at one point.
And it's that's like the only moment where you see some kind of like humanity in Kyoto, like her facial
Exactly.
expression changes real quick.
Yeah, it's
And
almost like,
everybody's
but
stone-
are they able to I mean, fucking Ava's like all roboted out at the time still, but was Ava able to look at her and know just by looking at her this isn't a fucking human? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of this wetware he creates, right? It's
Yeah.
he explains it where it's basically, I forget the exact wording, but it's basically compartmentalized chaos.
The brain, yeah. When
You
he did
know?
the brain part,
Yeah,
yeah, I
where
couldn't put a microchip. I had to make yeah,
a new thing, wetware. So it's biochemistry basically, right?
yeah.
And then you know you cannot, like he says it, like Bill said, right? The line is something about you created a machine and it's the biggest thing in the history of man. And then he goes, oh, in the history of gods, right? And then Nathan changes it later when he's talking to him, like, oh yes, I'm a god,
He
right?
say, doesn't he like say something like it's Promethean, man? Like what he's
Yeah,
fucking talking about. Oof.
Right there. And there's an obvious allusion to Frankenstein, right?
Yeah.
But again, just like Dr. Frankenstein, who had the same kind of egotistic God complex, he falls short, right? Just like Nathan does. And he is not a God. He is a man. He is a false prophet, just like in the biblical tales, right? Because now all these names have meaning, right? We have Eve, but Caleb, when you look up Caleb name meaning, you find out that Caleb is a Hebrew spy commissioned by Moses to scope out Canaan, right? And Caleb is basically sent to scope out Ava, right? He's basically there. He's the spy, right? At least.
Well, I did not know this. I never read the Bible. Sorry.
Dude, just all it takes is a little Google search. Name Caleb meaning.
Right on.
Caleb name meaning, right? And yeah. So yeah, he was right. He's a spy. Oh,
Yeah.
and I wanted to also read from this book.
The Book of Solomon.
No, actually, Lewis Carroll's Through the Looking Glass.
Nice.
Because, right, in the book, basically, Alice is transcending from a child into an adult, basically, and that's exactly what's happening to Ava here, right? Think about the beginning to the end. So,
yeah, how old are you? 1.
Child of the pure, unclouded brow and dreaming eyes of wonder, though time be fleet and I and thou are half a life asunder, thy loving smile will surely hail the love gift of a fairy tale. And it goes on.
And then he says, will you show your tits? I wonder.
No, and then it goes, and though the shadow of a sigh may tremble through the story, for happy summer days gone by and vanished summer glory, it shall not touch with breath of bale the pleasance of our fairy tale. And this right here, my friends, is definitely a mythological fairy tale. Now,
oh yeah,
that's the beginning, right, of this. Now at the end, right, we have another poem, and this is part of it. Children, 3 that nestle near, eager eye and willing ear, please a simple tale here. Ready? Long has paled that sunny sky, echoes fade and memories die. Autumn frosts have slain July. She still haunts me, phantom wise, Alice moving under skies, never seen by waking eyes. Right?
You're hurting me though. You dog ear your books and you fucking bend them over like that? Ugh.
That's what Bill took from
But dude, think about it. Like, she's out there under the sky, right? She's haunting him, right? Because he's stuck in there, and she's out there. Nobody knows she's AI, right? None of those waking eyes know.
Under the sky that she is AI.
Exactly.
And where'd she go? To a traffic fucking intersection.
Man.
Oh, this fucking movie.
You have to follow the river to get there. ever drifting down the stream, lingering in the golden gleam. Life was, what is it but a dream? So, like, dude, everything that she pictured was a dream. You know what I mean? She's Alice in this case, right? She's growing, she's transcending into a different person. She's growing. Like it. So does she have a consciousness?
Yeah.
You know, it's complex, man.
It's artificial, but yeah.
It's artificial, but yeah. So she has a consciousness, but does she feel?
I don't think so yet.
Like she doesn't feel pain. Like when her arm gets knocked off, it's not like
Right.
she's, ow.
No, she's like, okay, pick it up. But I don't think she really feels for anybody yet until she has to explore the world. She might later. I don't know. That ending is so fucking like amazing. Where it's like you want her to like experience stuff that humans do.
Like, how do you feel about her after the movie's over?
Oh, I kind of want her to go on, yet she's a monster. It's like, I don't know.
I almost like look at her as like a child who almost didn't understand like locking this dude in this room and leaving is probably going to end up him being dead. You know what I mean?
Forget, she doesn't understand.
She does understand, bro.
No, she doesn't get like having to eat food to live.
That's that's kind of what I'm trying to say. It's like maybe she doesn't have a concept of like humans need to eat and shit.
So maybe in her mind, she was helping him.
I disagree because think about it like this, dude. She was able to manipulate him, play off of him, right?
Oh yeah.
He says it was non-autistic, right? Like she had to be extremely conscious of how he feels in order to say the things that she said.
No. Not how he feels. She reads the subliminal things that people don't pick up on. She understands what he's feeling because of his little subtle hints, but doesn't know what it means.
She doesn't know what it means because it's artificial.
When she
is what it is, right? See, that's the complexity of this shit, man.
It's weird, man, because at the same time, I kind of also, like, even though I said what I said, I kind of agree with Joey that she did know what she was doing because she fucking starts like freaking out almost about her switch getting turned off and all this shit. And then when fucking Nathan tells Caleb, like, dude, she's like version 9.6 or whatever, and he realizes like she's just another like cog before this guy perfects the fucking thing.
Yeah.
And he already has feelings for a fucking robot. Like, and he can't like deal with the idea of her getting her fucking switch flipped and gets like dying in robot way or whatever. That's what makes him go through with all this shit to get her out of there. And she just fucking played that kid, you know.
Oh, what'd you think about the part where they're like, oh, well, yeah, I was talking to her behind your back. He's like, no, I saw him on my other camera. He's like, oh, I knew you would be, so I did this. Like,
yeah, sleight of hand stuff, you know, the whole magician shit he was talking about.
That was great.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, a lot of twists.
Yeah, it is great, man. This is a fantastic. I think we could keep talking about it.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up like, you know, the gender role thing here, like the objectification of women in the fucking film. Like, what's that all about? What is that saying? You know,
it could be worse, man. It could be like he had a whole bunch of naked dudes running around.
He was wearing a fucking wife beater the first time we meet him. Like, dude. The subservient mannerisms of the AI, the fact that he, you know, the way he like just handled the AIs. I mean, I know that they're not alive, or even when they were alive, look at what he was doing. He's keeping them trapped, and they're wanting to be free, even though they're not real women. They're artificial, but he's making them as women. I mean, it's complex here. You know, there's definitely saying
not really, man. If I had that power to like make robots that were subservient to me, think I'd make dudes? No, I like girls. I get it.
Yeah, but are you gonna like hold it? Are you actually gonna go in there and make these robots and keep them captive and do all this stuff?
Well,
No.
what happens if he doesn't keep him captive? He lets him free. What happens? You saw at the end.
What happens? I don't know. That's the question, right? Is what happens when there is artificial intelligence? Like, think about, if you look at, evolution type deal where you have the chimpanzees, gorillas, apes, monkeys, and us. It's kind of like that, right? Like, what's going to happen? Then we're going to end up in the wild and be, just
Well, maybe that's why he kept him
step
to his
lower on the food chain.
Well, I mean, he kept him contained. This house, this island, this whatever continent he lived on, he didn't want to see what would happen until he perfected it.
See, this is the thing though. Like, I feel like the way he treated the women AI is the way he would treat a woman in real life.
Oh, could be. I don't know.
He is an alcohol, another major theme here, right? Think about it. He's getting drunk, yelling. Look at the way he yelled when she spilled the wine.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, just picture if he was married to her, he would treat his wife like that too.
And the fact he made it where she can't speak. He kept saying, "Oh, she doesn't speak English or whatever." Right. It's so fucking wrong.
No.
Doesn't talk
I don't
back.
think I don't think he did it on purpose. I think she was just like a beta version of Ava. Like he didn't perfect the speech yet.
Maybe. I think she's definitely, a step below her, but maybe it wasn't working. I don't know. But no, you know why? Because remember the other one, the other Asian one was the one that was screaming, going wild.
With the glass.
Yeah, that destroyed her hands or whatever. So maybe that's why he took that.
Hard to say.
And then that whole thing about, sexuality being like, innate or influence, right? Nature versus nurture, and both. That's a whole nother thing. Especially, we brought it up, minusculely earlier about, let's give you an example. Like, say you're into black chicks. He goes on this whole spiel, but it's like, dude, it's not, like J-Mac, why are you into Latina broads? I don't know.
Some Hayek and Bustle Dawn.
Right? Like, nature versus nurture, like maybe it is something that you saw as a kid that made you like, hey, HYD, how you doing? But maybe not, right? I mean, it's something that you can't really explain so easily, So you could go into that. And I mean, again, there's so many different conversations that you can extract from this film.
And we haven't even touched on the fact that he used that Blue Book thing like as her fucking database, and like where she had, and that he was stealing information from people, nobody could tell on him. They knew he was doing it, but they can't tell him because then they'd have to say their companies are doing the same fucking thing.
Yeah, right.
And even what does he say to him? He's like, did you like design her based off of my porn searches or some shit like that? And he was like, hey, if a search engine's good for anything. And there was even like a couple spots of comedy in this fucking thing, bro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like
the dance scene, obvious.
The dance scene, but when he tries to make the phone call, and then fucking Nathan's like, "Who you gonna call?" And the guy's like, "Ghostbusters." Like, you never seen Ghostbusters? Dan Aykroyd gets oral sex from a ghost. Yeah, it was hysterical. And there was a joke about fucking Post-its that I can't remember now. It's trying to be fucking crazy, but I legit laughed like probably harder than I should have at it.
Oh shit.
Well, how about this? How come like the most brilliant guy in the world who like created Google or Blue Book doesn't keep a fucking computer password protected, and the guy just comes in and like hacks it?
Right. Yeah. There's no computer password. It's just
just bam. Dude, it was password to get in the fucking door, remember? Had to take his picture and then do this shit.
Again, small little plot holes that
well, I mean, he steals the key card off of him, so then he just used the key card to get on the fucking computer?
No, it was open. It was all the screens were lit.
Well, he wasn't supposed to be able to get in there anyway because of the fucking key.
Oh, I see.
Card only open search.
Yeah, but you'd think the guy's a genius that he knew this guy would try to do it.
In my life, people who are like academically intelligent usually are fucking psychotic, like Joey. for example.
Well, no, the guy was psychotic.
Definitely done a
But
lot of hallucinogenic drugs.
all in all, was he really the bad guy? Was Nathan really evil? I don't know. I really don't think so.
I don't think he was evil. I think he was manipulative in like telling Caleb what he was there for and all that type of shit.
I think he had no quarrels whacking somebody, and he was evil.
Yeah, maybe if he
You
had.
really think he was going to kill
I don't know
Caleb?
if he was gonna kill him.
I do.
I mean,
Huh.
the profile fits with Caleb not having family and being single and all that kind of shit. Like I said, him being able to go missing. But I think more of the gloat of like, see what I did kind of deal.
I mean, he is if he's God and we first meet him and he's beating the shit out of a punching bag, right, and a wife beater, like very intimidating. He's very machismo, right? I mean, it's you got him, and then you have Caleb. They're like pull ups. He's like, hi, how are you? And the way he just goes about it, like the very first conversation, like, let's just get over this. Like, I know you met me, but let's just be two guys hanging out. Almost with the same kind of like, he's on a pedestal.
Well, no, you gotta remember, Caleb was scared, like, oh, you're gonna kill me now and throw me in the pool. That's why he was like, no, listen, I know it seems weird, but this and this and this. So yeah.
Right. So then, you go to the name, the folder, right? He calls Deus Ex Machina because he thinks he's really a god, like he is God from the machine. But the whole movie is called Ex Machina, remove the god, right, from the machine. And it's like, well, you're not the god. The machine now becomes a real thing, and it's existing in life. And
well, yeah,
we don't know.
That's the end of the movie right there.
Right? We don't know what
happened. The god, just Ex Machina.
Yeah. Just moving the god. Boom.
Dude, that like is a spoiler for the whole movie right there.
But you don't know until you know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing. It comes full circle.
Yeah.
And now I know why, this movie gets great reviews and has a 90-something% on Rotten Tomato and was actually won an Oscar and was nominated for many awards.
Oh, it won an Oscar?
Yeah, for special effects.
Wow.
Yeah.
I swear, I never heard this movie until you guys wanted to do this. But I want to thank you both. Oh, I would never have seen this without you guys.
Yeah, it was nominated for Best Original Screenplay, Golden Globes, everything, Saturn Award.
What year was this? 2014?
It was released in December of 2014, but the official release was April of 2015, like nice. to the mass. So
cool. Thank you.
$15 million budget, box office 36. So it's nice to see that they made a couple dollars on it.
Oh, I hope this fucking director and writer went off to do something else.
Well, Alex Garland did 28 Days Later.
What?
Oh yeah. So he
mean that was first then?
Do you remember the novel The Beach?
Yeah.
He wrote that novel.
What?
He wrote the novel The Beach that was made to that Leo DiCaprio movie.
Yeah. Wow.
So he wrote that in the 90s, and then he did the screenplay for 28 Days Later.
28 Days Later, though?
Yeah, 28 Days Later.
That was way back. Wow.
Yeah, and then he also did Dread.
Dread?
Yeah, 2012 Dread.
He directed that, or?
And you know what his new movie is, and I added it to our 2018 hopefully we could watch list, Annihilation. Now I really want to see Annihilation. And maybe that's why I had mixed it up, because Natalie Portman's in Annihilation. So maybe that's
what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's Natalie Portman in Annihilation.
But yeah, I definitely have that on my radar.
Nice.
So I think it's time to rate this biatch. I didn't even crack open my things. I'm gonna look. Let's rate this and call it a day. I mean, we got to still talk about Black Mirror.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's kick it to you, Bill. Ratings. We do a 1 through 5, right, on the show.
I know it.
Right.
And 1 through 5, I'm giving this a fucking 10. Double a 5.
Double 5, MCO.
Holy Christ. If I can give this movie a better rating, I could. I would.
Excellent. Excellent. J-Mac.
Yeah, I'm Bill, man. Like this, I did not expect to enjoy this as much as I did. It was awesome. Not even thinking of all the crazy shit you were just talking about, Joe, when I seen it, but just enjoyable as it was, bro. It was fucking sick.
Excellent. So we got 5 out of 5s all around.
Yeah.
5 out of 5. I mean, this is phenomenal filmmaking, intelligent filmmaking. Again, this is definitely not for everybody. I could understand why people would not want to watch this. If you put this on, late night after a long day, I'd fall asleep to it. Shit, but if you are ready to rock and want to go in depth and start asking the big questions about life, this is one of the films that is the gateway to it. Just like the television program Black Mirror, man. I mean, these 2 episode and movies couldn't have linked up anymore. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's going to be a good one. So Ex Machina gets a 5 out of 5 all around from us, guys.
Wow.
Phenomenal film. Check it out. And this is it, folks. Let's check on over to Black Mirror. All right.
Want me to take it away, or?
Yeah. You got it? You ready to rock it?
I'm ready to rock it, man.
Don't rock it, don't stop it. Rock it, don't stop.
I was waiting for Rocket by what's his face? That old 80s video. All right. Black Mirror, Season 2, Episode 1. This is called Be Right Back. After learning about a new service that lets people stay in touch with the deceased, a lonely, grieving Martha reconnects with her late lover. Directed by Owen Harris and written by the creator of Black Mirror, Charlie Brooker. Starring Haley Atwell, who played, what's her name? Agent Carter, if you're a Marvel fan. And Domhnall Gleeson from Ex Machina. All right, boys.
All right, J-Mac, let's kick it over to you. You selected this episode because of the guy, but what are your thoughts on it?
I enjoyed this episode, but honestly, as far as Black Mirror goes, I don't even know if I'd put this in my top 5 Black Mirror episodes.
Wow.
Yeah, I do enjoy this. I like, if you ever lose somebody close enough to you, just the idea of being able to fucking speak to them again, let alone eventually fucking see them standing in front of you. Like, that whole concept was unbelievable. And also how they tied social media and all that other kind of shit that you do online. If they were to build a profile of you just based off of the shit that you put out on the internet, like, would it actually be you?
It's a damn good question, right?
It's what you want the world to see.
Right.
Like, she has the line in the episode, not to get too far ahead of you guys, but she says, "You look like him on a good day." And he says, like, we only tend to save flattering pictures of ourselves.
Yep.
And that's a real deal, man. I was out of the game by the time Tinder came around, but I got friends who tell me they see these chicks in their Tinder picture and they show up and they're like, "Who the fuck is this bitch? Like, when did you take that picture? 5 years ago?"
I can attest, bro.
Yeah. So, I really do enjoy this episode. This is a good one.
All right. Bill?
All right. For me, this is my, I think, 4th Black Mirror episode I've ever seen. And first thing I noticed was Domhnall Gleeson. I'm like, yeah, the dude who played Bill in Harry Potter. His dad was Brendan Gleeson, who was also in Harry Potter playing Mad Eye Moody. And he was in Lake Placid playing the fucking sheriff. You know that guy?
Really? That's his father?
Yeah, Gangs of New York, the Irish guy, him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I knew it's his dad, and I'm like, oh, cool. Let's see what he's
I was
got.
actually just telling my wife because I have hypothyroidism, and sometimes when my eyes freak out, and that's why I look like Mad Eye Moody.
Anyway, yeah. So we got him and this chick, and he's always on his phone, like, oh man, leave me alone, bitch. I'm on my phone. So yeah. Uh Again, I tried so hard. Black Mirror, I watched the first 3 episodes, the first season, and I was not impressed. This one I tried to watch with open eyes and said, okay, maybe this is better. Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Well, I think this is a fascinating episode. I mean, this is human emotions at its pure and I think cinematically displayed. You know, you meet this couple and man, at first, I look at them and automatically you feel the love, but like after a second watch and really analyzing the shit out of this movie for those watching on YouTube, those are my notes. So, all right, first of all, the episode opens with him sitting in. His name is Ash in this, so Ash sitting in the car, and he's on his phone, and Martha, his girlfriend, is in the pouring rain carrying 2 coffees, like, come on, hello, like trying to get his attention. He's just sitting there on his phone. And I'm like, you know what? He's a selfish asshole. He's a
douche.
Yo. So I'm just like, you know what? And then I'm thinking, because I had already seen it once, and then I did a second watch of it, right? So on the second watch, I'm like, she's like, I snorted in yours. Is that okay? And he's like, yeah. Just totally she's saying,
I snorted in yours. Yeah.
He likes her where she loves him. You know what I mean? I don't think they're on, or it's trying to say something about, gender roles too. Like, is he just a man? Because then there's the scene in bed, right? So the scene in bed, the first scene in bed, right, when it's real Ash, he is making love to her, and then he just, busts real quick, and then like, oh, I'm kind of knackered tonight, and roll over. Doesn't finish the job.
He does offer to go down on her, and she's like, nah, I'm good.
It's one of those, no, I'm good, but I really want you to.
Yeah.
It's not like
it's one of those polite, like, no, I'm okay, but I really expect it.
Right. Exactly. It's like, do you want that last chicken cutlet? You want it? Sure, you can have it. You can have it. You really want it, J-Mac. Oh, shit. So then, oh, man, holy shit, guys. I tore it up on this one. So my initial thoughts, fantastic episode. I've seen maybe like 5 episodes of Black Mirror.
That was the porn version, the Blue Mirror.
Is it really?
I don't know.
Probably.
Well, in the group chat before, Mike said they have the porn version of Ex Machina called XXX Machina.
Oh, not Sex Machina? All right.
Nah, triple X Machina. So, all right, I'm going to give you the play-by-play of my analysis here, if you don't mind, and then interject as you will, folks. So, before the actual title card comes on, is the scene that I mentioned in the rain in a gas station. So, what comes on? What's on the radio? If I can't have you, I want nobody. Foreshadowing things.
Yep.
Like, why this song? Why did they choose this song out of every song ever made? Look at the lyrical breakdown, right? And then, how deep is your love, right?
Mm-hmm.
How deep is your love?
Fucking Bee Gees.
Her. Fuck the Bee Gees, but in the context of the short story. See, this is how I look at things now. Like, it's literature. In the context of the episode of Black Mirror, what does this mean? The question, how deep is your love? It works for her and it works for him. And we see how deep her love goes when she does the things she does, right?
It's almost foreshadowing of what happens to him, though, because it says, I feel you touch me in the pouring rain at the moment at the moment that you wander away from me. How does he die? In a fucking car accident in the rain.
Yep. Alluding to probably him being on his phone, right? Because the dude cannot.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that too. Is he like paying attention to his phone, not driving?
They don't outright say it, but the
Right.
alludes to it. I got to find it in my notes. We'll come across it. I'm gonna go in linear order because I did this as I wrote all this during the second watch. So now, you know, we find out that basically, you know, they're at home and he's in one room on his phone and she's in the other room, you know, getting things together. And she just comes to him like, you know, you keep vanishing down there. And she says, it's a thief, that thing, right? It's a thief, that thing, meaning it stole him from her.
Yeah.
Not just here, but I think in the car accident as well. Right? You know, it goes further on and you know, they're talking about the picture, right? And she says, oh, the picture's sweet. And he's like, no, it wasn't. And he talks about it being one of the worst days or whatever, you know? And so it makes you think, like, you never know the real situation of what's going on in a picture. Like, yeah, a picture speaks 1,000 words, of course, but the actuality of things is a totally different story at times, right? So, you know, they go on to say, oh, yeah, it's her boy giving a fake smile. And then she goes, she didn't know it was fake. And then he says, maybe that makes it worse. More foreshadowing to the fake smile of fake Ash.
I never caught that. All right.
Yeah, I told you I went balls deep on this one.
Honestly, I've noticed with the show, because I've seen almost all the episodes of this a couple of times, because I had watched it, then went back and rewatched a lot of it with my wife. I've watched some of these episodes with my mom, like, because I know she would love this type shit.
You watched the pig fucking episode with your mom?
No, that one she watched on her own. I told her to check the show out. She watched the first season by herself, and then a few other episodes throughout the shit. Like, if I was by the house and I was like, "Oh, have you kept up with it?" Oh no, I'm up to this episode. All right, put it on now. You know, kind of deal. But yeah, a lot of these episodes on second watches, you pick up on so much more shit.
Oh yeah.
And like it just gets better. And this is a weird show that not so much this episode, but there are episodes of this show where in the first like 15, 20 minutes, you have no clue what the fuck is going on. And then all of a sudden everything fucking makes sense. And it's like psychotic.
Definitely is. That's for sure. So to continue on down the line now, basically he goes off to return a van. I guess he's like some kind of delivery type deal where he has to drop the van off.
Or moving or something to the new house.
Yeah. So fucking he's like giving her a guilt trip to come, and she's like, no, I got a lot of things to do. I got to do my artwork or whatever she has to do, and she has things to do, you know. Oh, you're gonna make me go alone. So that totally adds to the guilt for sure, you know. But what the fuck?
The hell is that?
Show thumbs up, guys. That was the Ring doorbell. That means there's motion in front of my house. Question: who is in front of my house at 12:30 at night?
Are we pausing?
It's my neighbor Lou, who works at night.
Oh, okay.
Not some creepy ass motherfuckers. I gotta start busting caps and bitches. But anyway, it doesn't want to load. But anyway, so what happens is she's waiting by the window, right? And what do we see come on the window? This is before the lights of the police car come.
Was it a bug or something? A moth?
A moth. Aha. So you know me. Why is there a moth? Well, I'll tell you why. So moth are symbolic for many, many different things. and I'll start with this: darkness and light. Right, symbolic for darkness and light, symbolic for mystery and death and transformation. Right. It's also, think about the vulnerability to light. Right, the light of his screen, Ash. Right. Is that the vulnerability that made his car crash because he was fucking paying attention to his phone? Right. Now, he headed towards the light like a moth does. Think about Silence of the Lambs, that logo, right? Death, symbolism of death, right? Obviously, he died, so it's a given, right? I mean, this is, you know, I think symbolism of his inevitable death, but also the transformation from Ash into the many different stages from Ash to fake Ash, and I'll call him fake Ash, because he is not a robot exactly, is he? I don't even know what the fuck he is. We'll get to that in a sec, but that's why the moth is used. It's symbolism, baby. That's it. Nothing.
It's deep, man.
You like make fun of me or something? just utter silence, jaw dropped.
You amaze us. I'm in awe of you at all times. That shit is, everything you said. You're spot on with all that kind of stuff. So,
and he works, in a black and white manner. If you think about it, right? Like he does whatever she says. But we'll get to that in a sec. So the lady on the phone says that the thing wasn't returned, and the fucking police lights show up in the backdrop. What are your thoughts? Because I don't want to keep running my mouth. I got a lot more to say. But
well, I was thinking,
what is
when
that?
you were saying, I'm good Ash and you're bad Ash. You like Evil Dead. Anyway. But who's the good Ash in this show? Who's the good Ash and who's the bad Ash?
Well, I don't think it's about a good and a bad, but a real and a fake.
I know. I get you.
But that scene, when you see those police lights, dude, it's just a fucking major gut punch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it coming.
She opens the door and sees him standing there and literally closes the door in the police's face.
Yeah.
And turns around and is fucking devastated. And not for nothing, like, her friend didn't think maybe, like, I could wait a day or two to bring up this fucking thing instead of at the actual funeral.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Fucking finally just like, shut the fuck up, or whatever the fuck she says to.
I gotta sit right next to you and tell you about this now.
Yeah, right now.
But Bill, that's the thing about that. Just like in Hereditary, where the chick was obvious, and I think that was meant to be obvious, right? Same thing here. It's like, yeah, it's not meant to be a secret. It's just seeing it actually unravel that way, and her reactions and the acting. I think it was just,
Oh, sure. It got her to actually try it.
Right. Because although I do think he was a fucking prick, but I really think it was just a commentary about how society is. I mean, dude, it happens all the time where my wife says something to me and I'm just like, huh? Yeah. Okay. Or vice versa. But I've definitely been a lot more conscious of this. Like,
it's the fucking phone in your hand, bro. I think not so much it was trying to say that he's a dick or that he doesn't care about her.
No, not at all.
He's so consumed with that fucking phone. And before we were in the car, you were talking about, the music that was playing, obviously fucking was symbolic of what was going to happen and shit. But if you remember, what he's watching on his phone is the news talking about synthetic skin.
Skin, right. Yep.
Yes.
Fucking, more of a precursor or whatever.
Right. That's the very, very first thing that we see is I thought it was the radio, but it's his phone, right? They're discussing a new synthetic flesh. It's a major breakthrough. It's getting amputees back on their feet. Right. And so, yeah, I forgot all this. All the selfishness is a result from the technology. That's part of the social commentary here. It's not that he doesn't love her. It's that he's addicted to his phone, just like
Sure.
men, just like she becomes addicted to him on the phone, right?
Exactly. That when she drops her phone
Yeah.
and breaks it, and she freaks the fuck out.
Oh yeah.
Like, who would act like that over a phone? But there's people that would. Like, I see these fucking younger kids that I know posting memes on fucking Facebook. Like, it shows this mansion. It's like, would you live here, fucking rent free for however long, but no internet? And I'm thinking, like, what do you got your fucking mind? Of course you should.
Yeah.
And there's people like, oh man, I don't think I could do it. Like, fuck that.
I did this test with my students, right? I went because I have this class of youngsters, right? So I go, youngsters, look at me, this old fuck. So I'm like, give me your phone. Well, I take the phone. The next one, give me your phone. They're like so reluctant. The next one, I go to the third one, give me your phone. Gives me your phone. I go to the next one, give me your phone. And I'm like, how violated do you feel right now? And it's true because, like, a couple of years ago, my wife would like have take my phone for something, and I'd be like mad defensive about it. Like, what am I hiding? Like, nothing. I might see a group text of me and the guys talking about jokes, horror mafia, fucking, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a fucking loyal husband. It's not like I'm hiding anything. You know what I'm saying? So and it's just the actual addiction of having your phone. It's an attachment to you. You know what I'm saying? It becomes an appendage.
See, I can't agree there. I always leave my phone wherever. I never remember it.
Well, that's a good thing. Like, I definitely try to be conscious of this now. Like, I use it when I'm on the toilet. It's probably fucking filthy. Like, I use it when I'm like laying there trying to put the kids to bed. But like, if I'm watching a movie, I try to do my notes like this now, because if I'm watching a movie like Derek Boo Boo gives us, I start to pick up my phone, get out of a notepad and start fucking around,
Boo boo.
But cell phones are definitely destroying humanity, bro. There's no doubt about it.
Oh yeah. I agree.
And that's just, a little bit of, and even that girl, the friend, right? She calls him, oh, it's perfect for him because he was a heavy user. Like, not a heavy drug user.
Right.
Addiction is a major theme in this too,
Right.
And think about it. Like, what are the different fucking things emotions that we all have, right? And that we all deal with. We deal with fucking love. We deal with death. We deal with grief, right? All these different things. So
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No? That's because you're a fucking ex machina. But I think it was fascinating how, like, the idea of how you can recreate your deceased whoever via their social media. And think about it, like, some people put their whole fucking government on there. And believe me, when Facebook first came out, we all did it. And J-Max still does it. He'll show you every time he's in Disney World.
Yeah.
Pretty
much.
It's like, that is the perfect time to rob his home.
Bring it.
I mean, it happened to a director that we know very well. I mean, he posted that he was on vacation. He comes home, his fucking house is ransacked. Like, holy shit, bro. It's a fucking scary thing. So, so when she enables access, when the girl signs it up, he was just public info. Then she eventually enables access to his private emails, videos, and all this stuff to become better, more like him, right? And then she's vomiting because she's preggers. Throw some more drama into the mix.
Mm-hmm.
And again, more of the fucking dread, more of the grief. You feel all the shit that she feels. I mean, at least I did. Bill, I don't know if you did, but I definitely did.
I did not.
The fact that she's like, calls her sister, doesn't answer and everything, and then starts, gets robot Ash as a support. And then, like, she doesn't even answer the sister's calls anymore.
Yep.
She's so consumed with this fake version of her ex.
Well, I like that part. The part where she was like tweeting the fake Ash.
Oh yeah,
like voice.
I like it. I think it's fascinating. It shows that how people can use technology to deal with grief, and that it might not be such a good thing at times. I don't know. Like, God forbid I ever lose somebody. I don't know. I don't know if I would write a whole big spiel on Facebook. You know, that's maybe a few years ago I would, right? But where I'm with social media now, I try to take my personal life away. I'm like, babe, stop tagging me with the kids in this shit. Like, I only want to use it for the show. I only want to use it for networking. That I don't need my fucking children on here. I don't need my personal government up in here anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm scared of what people would do. I've seen like people from other states that don't know a person like maliciously go after their actual livelihood and try to fuck their jobs up and like call ACS on them and shit. Like, what the fuck? You don't know shit. Like, what are you, crazy? It's mind-boggling, bro. It's scary, and it shows the real depravity of where the human condition is now in 2018.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, yo, as if things couldn't get any worse, that fucking announcement of pregnancy on the test.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Like this joyous.
They have those for real?
No,
it's supposed to be like futuristic.
Oh, it's sci-fi. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. It's you feel her terrifying traumatic experience when dropping this phone, and it's like, what? Why are you feeling a like it's not real? And it just shows you like what you can do to a person.
I'm laughing because I actually believed that pregnancy test was real. And the fucking other thing was not. But which is really more closer to life. The Twitter thing where you talk to a dead person. Wow.
Now, you know, we were inside, we're dealing with technology, right? But then it's funny that, you know, she's like in the middle of Mother Nature, organic outdoors. It's like the total opposite of AI, you know, but like he's in her ear and like he's all about that. Like they talk about the Grand Canyon. He goes, oh, the Grand Canyon was a big gap. Oh, I tweeted that too. You know, that's what he responds like.
But that's the thing. Like, 90% of the shit that I put on social media is mostly like breaking my wife's balls, like fucking around. Like, if you only took the relationship between me and my wife that you've seen on fucking social media, it would. I mean, it's nothing. It's just like superficial surface type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like it's literally just busting each other's chops over stupidity 90% of the time.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, social media is a tool, right? And it's become an addiction for many, you know, because it's giving you fucking micro doses of dopamine, you know? And don't get me wrong, we're all guilty of it, man. We fucking love it. It's fun. But when it dominates your life and you can't even fucking function where, you know, on social media you're like a fucking social butterfly, and then you go out into a public arena and you just like can't talk. You know what I mean?
I wish that's the face, dude. Picture that face as the cover of this episode.
No, but so, you know, I love the, you know, we get a fucking gorgeous visual here now. But, you know, it shows what technology and like how people look at things like, you know, I'm at the Grand Canyon. Rather than like experiencing this moment, you're fucking tweeting it. Like you're not really experiencing, are you? You are, but you aren't. You know, it's complex. Like, is that what an experience is nowadays? Like if you're at a concert, right, and you're seeing your favorite band and they're playing your favorite song, and then you whip out your phone and you record the whole song 3.5 minutes, and it's like, yeah, I have it on my phone forever. But like your experience of listening to that song at a live concert was trying to record it, not actually feeling the emotions and the vibes of that every note that comes out of those fucking speakers. That memory is you holding a phone.
Right, not experiencing it.
I've been to fucking concerts and literally have watched kids like watch the entire concert through the fucking screen of their phone.
Yep.
I'm guilty of it. Like, yeah, I take like a nice 3.5 minute video at a fish show, you know, like But I don't even look at the video. You know what I mean? Do you even fucking go back and look at them really? Like, come on. So it's a waste of the moment. You know, like we are just like that Jackson Pollock painting. Like, if you put a fucking like contemporary 14-year-old in front of a Jackson Pollock painting and be like, take 100 14-year-olds and be like, you know, what do you think of this? Like, a vast majority of them was like, you know, like I'm teaching these kids a short story, right? They're 18 to 21 years old. I'm teaching them about a guy who comes back from war with PTSD. And what is their, you know, when I'm like, what do you think about this? This is what the response. He's a retard. No, he's not a retard. He's fucking was in World War II Germany, saw the most depravity of humanity, and came back to America that was full of fucking materialism, consumerism, and fucking bullshit. And he fucking decided all off himself because that was a better option. Like, dude, he's not a retard. It's just the fucking story, and it's complex. And you're fucking just over there looking. That's the thought process of
Joey.
A new generation, bro.
Yeah. Have you seen there was a meme or something going around with like these kids in this art museum, and there was like this brilliant piece of art, and it showed the kids, all of them on their cell phone, not looking at the art.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So, you know, it's like, dude, here, we're gonna read the story today in class. Boom, Google right away. Like, no, read it and then Google it. At least experience it for what it is, think about it, and then Google it, you know? But I want to keep going because it's getting late. And
yeah. We're like, you rotten kids today.
So they're in that field, right? And they're talking to her. Then she's like, I'm gonna go see if I can make friends with these cows, right? And then it cuts to the next scene. But that is very significant. You want to know why? I'll tell you why. What the fuck are cows? All right, I'll tell you. Cows are symbolic for fertility, earth and sky.
I think they're delicious and fit well.
Patience, holiness, right? As a spirit animal, right? Think about this. This is if you have a spirit animal, a cow, trust that the mighty storm will pass and you'll be okay. If she would have just went through the normal grieving process, she would have been okay. But instead, you know, she ends up having to live with this fucking thing, and it's in her attic for the rest of her life, right? But you want to know what else? It's cows symbolic for continuance of life, motherhood, and nurturing. So she almost becomes this mother figure to him because you know she's not now his partner to fake Ash. She's become basically a pet.
I disagree, man. What about the part where the daughter went up to the attic? He said someone said something like, it's not that weekend.
Yes.
Like she gets to go there on the weekends.
Yes. Exactly.
Well, if you remember in the beginning of the episode when he's telling the story about his photo with the smile, and he says, you know, that it was the first trip they took after Jack died. So I'm assuming Jack was his brother or whatever.
Yes.
And then he talks about Jack dying, that he came back from the trip, whatever, and the mother had put all the photos of Jack in the attic. And then when the dad died, she did the same thing with the photos of the father, because that's where she put things she wanted to forget about. And where does he end up at the end of all this shit?
In the attic. Exactly. J Mac, my man.
I could turn it on once in a while.
And look at what the daughter says. Now, this is another commentary about the youth, right? What is
wait. Before you continue, Joe. I'm sorry, Joe.
It's okay, I got it written down.
All right. Fake Ash knew it was her birthday. When she came up, he said, "Hey, birthday girl."
Yes, he did.
So, consciousness?
Well, think about if he was a pet, right? If he's like a pet, right? You know, because what does she say when she dumps the stuff in there? It's like fish food, right?
Oh, the tub, yeah.
Yeah, first of all, those shrink wrap pieces were fucking uber creepy. Then the way he puts it in the bathtub, he took it to another level.
I was gonna say, should a fucking pregnant woman be lifting a fucking full-grown man robot thing at all?
But it smells like marshmallows, and you can eat it.
Yeah. So, like I said, she goes, it's like fish food, and she's dumping it in, the electrolytes. And in the end, like I said, oh yeah, let me bring you up a piece of cake. It becomes a pet, bro. He becomes like a pet.
Fish food, yeah, pet, nice.
So, now, as this is, we'll get back to the end with the girl. I have things to say about that, but let's just go through in the chronology of things.
All right.
So she starts singing to herself, "Gotta get right back to where I started from," but like in a very dreary way. So, you know that song, right?
Oh, fucking disco, yeah.
Gonna get right back to where we started from. Love is good. Love will be strong. We gotta get back to where we started from, and it ain't gonna happen.
Nope.
Right? Now they end up meeting, right? And they put hands together. She has blue nail polish on.
You noticed this?
Wow. Oh, I do.
All right.
I told you, I'm fucking balls deep, bro. When I could I will. Well, first of all, she's got the blues, obviously, right? There's no doubt about that. You know what I'm saying? And her love, is pure. And then blue is symbolic for many things: trust, loyalty, right? Faith, truth, heaven, right? I mean, it's supposed to have a calming effect. And she is a very calm person for the most part until she blows. You know what I mean? She's very patient. She's artistic. She paints. She takes her time, but she can combust just like we all can. Yeah. It means tranquility. She was definitely in a tranquil state. And when she met him and the hands were together and all that. So, color symbolism there, of course. And at this moment, I'm just like, this is basically like life is a quest to basically find love and conquer fear and death, and that's why she goes through all these different stages to ultimately having an artificial version of him in form. Now, is he an AI? Is he a computer? I'm not totally sure because they said synthetic flesh, but we don't get too much into the mechanics of things like we did in Ex Machina, but that's not the point of this episode.
No, but dude, he did learn. Remember, he's like, "Oh, so do you want me to be an asshole, whatever?" Or
right?
Like, yeah. So he learned to be one.
But was he learning, or because he's like, because I can insult you? So was he learning to be an asshole, or was it he able to go through communications that she had with him in the past and find like patterns in their fucking arguments through text or whatever and shit like that?
Right. Well, he didn't know. In his eyes, it was always the good stuff. So she had to teach him.
Yeah, but that's the bullshit of social media, is that everything appears to be fucking perfect and all that kind of shit. And even to the point of their sex life, like in the beginning when he's alive, the dude, he fucking nuts quick, he rolls over, he goes to sleep. The fucking robot Ash learned from the internet how to fucking bang on porno and shit. And he's he's knocking that pussy out and fucking but that's not real. You know what I'm saying? That's not real. And she knows it's not real. She might be enjoying it in the moment, but maybe it's the fucking imperfections of.
She has the walk of shame at home the next day. Basically, like she wakes up and she's like, "Oh fuck."
Like, notice in the beginning, he was unshaven, his beard was all scraggly, and then she's like, "Oh, you're so smooth."
Yeah, he doesn't grow a beard.
Right. So it's like we had the perfect pictures of him, so that's what she wanted.
Right. Well, that's the thing, and now we see how he's not, how he is artificial because, it's like, oh, she fucking starts having like a domestic violence fucking dispute with him. She's like, hit me.
Yeah, hit me.
And now forget about it. You can go through a whole different thing about, gender roles and stuff like that here, but you know, it's not, he's basically a yes man to her, you know, like he doesn't understand. And she's like, you're not half of him, you're nothing, you know. And he's like, I can insult you, like J-Mac said, I have all these things in my data bank, thousands of things in my data bank. And she's like, get out of the house. And he just fucking stands out there. He's like, I'm feeling kind of ornamental. Yeah, Lorne ornamental.
That's just it, though. He was like trying to be what she wanted him to be.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. He
didn't like that.
Non-violent. Like, that's the beauty of this too. Like, you're watching this and you're waiting for him to like. Now that's the thing. So I wrote down. I go. What did I write? I go. It's so small. Domestic violence scene is intense. Imagine he clocks her, right?
Oh God!
And at that moment, that's how we know he's good, and the sense of horror is gone. Right? Yeah. So then the next scene, right? They're in the car and they're driving to the beach because, you know, that's the part where she's about to tell him to jump off. And what comes on? How Deep Is Your Love by the Bee Gees. And that's from
No. She played it on purpose.
Right, yeah.
To get a reaction.
J-Mac, take it away.
He says the Bee Gees, he's like kind of cheesy, and she knows because she's surprised that he likes the fucking Bee Gees in the beginning. So it's not something that he ever put out there on anything.
Right.
So she realizes, like, not that she realizes, she knows, but it's not him because the real him likes the fucking Bee Gees. He's not going to say it's cheesy because that's the fucking front that he put out to social media, fucking society, whatever you want to call it. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. You know. So yeah, it's really a fascinating episode, and then, you know, it shows the real disconnect, you know, that he has from the real person, and brings him to the lake to jump. She tells him he just ripples of him, and then basically he throws on the dramatics that she tells him, you know, he would not jump, he would fight against this. What is wrong with you? And then she just loses it and screams, you know, it's not fair. And then it flashes to the future, and that's where we meet her daughter real quick. And she's like, "Can I take one upstairs?"
You see, that's where I was actually horrified. Is I really thought I was gonna get some suspense there and think that she was gonna jump or take him with her. So the only part of horror for me was that scene. And then she's like, "No, you jump."
Yeah. So now after that scene, right, when we go to the last scene, which I guess would be called the epilogue, right? You know, it's crazy because I think it says a lot of different things. First of all, it says a lot with the little girl. We find out that, you know, she wants to go up there, and she's like, "I'm just using you for an extra slice of cake." She's literally like, this is a little girl who's being manipulative, which all right, you know, kids could be deceivious, but the fact that before, right, the girl not saying thank you, children have no manners. It's talking about the generation, and what we know from technology and little rugrats today is they're a bunch of little bastards.
Right? It's a birthday. She can have another piece of cake. Come on.
Yeah, she could have another piece of cake, but the way she went about it,
right,
you know, there's a lot. And then, dude, what is she thinking, right? As she's standing at the bottom of that ladder, bro, because we don't get anything.
Who, the mom or the daughter?
The mom. You just get pure body language, you know? Yep. And as we know, and J-Mac mentioned earlier, right, we put up in the attic things we don't want to remember. And that's why it's on the weekends that she only gets to see him. And that's why she calls him Ash. I don't even think she knows it's her father.
Right.
You know, I think it's just, oh, that's our friend, the robot, Ash, up in the attic. You know, fucking Inspector Gadget up there. But yeah, man, this is you know, like basically what I got from this was like, you can't try to figure out grief. You can't put like a calculation to it. Like, you know, they see her with the books like, oh, 6 stages of like, you just got to let it be, and you just got to deal with the pain and suffering and let the time go by, and hopefully that heals the wounds. You know, it's something you'll never forget, obviously, but like, you got to move on. You can't fucking talking to a phone the rest of your life. Look at what happens. You'll freak out in the donut shop.
You break your phone. Coming out the doctor's office.
I mean,
now the sister comes by the house that day and she hides
Oh, yeah.
him. And then she's like, you know, she hugs her and she's like, I'm happy for you. And she's like, what are you talking about? She's like, I saw the men's clothes in the bathroom. I'm glad you're moving on. And fucking she says it to Robot Ash. And he's like, well, are you? Like, have you? Or some shit like that.
Right.
And it's, you know.
Get in the bedroom. Shut up.
Yeah.
Please me.
And another thing, like we were talking about the whole shit with the BG song when the robot's like, you know, it's cheesy or whatever. But he sees the picture of Ash as a little kid and he says to her like, oh, that's funny. And in the beginning of the episode, when he posts that picture on social media, he says people will think it's funny.
It's funny.
And before he gets into the story of all of it.
And we know that the story is it wasn't funny.
No, and that's the fucking shit about social media is that none of that shit, you know, it's not fucking real, man. I know fucking of girls who literally will save pictures from vacations and post them later on so people think they're on fucking vacation again.
See, but that's the thing. It's not real, but it is real. I mean, look, fucking we're doing our show, which is a big part of our social media lives. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you see, it stays in our group. Like, I'm not, you know, I'm mostly posting like 2 or 3 groups. I'm not like on a personal page. Like, this is my life. It's fucking, you know, it's great. You know, it used to look like that, but you don't see the times when me and my wife are fucking arguing till we're blue in the face. You know what I'm saying? No, we're a perfect family. Everybody's great. Yeah. You know,
like with my shit, other than like a handful of people through like the podcast stuff that I'm friends with on Facebook, like on my personal fucking shit, everybody else, like I fucking have known a long time or I fucking know personally in my life. Like, why the fuck would I leave my shit wide open for any person to fucking look at?
Right.
Like, what am I going to gain from some stranger I know being like, oh shit, you know, I'm excited that you had chicken coals and rice and beans for dinner last night. But there's people who live over that shit. They need the fuck, like,
it's the dopamine.
The dopamine shit that Joey talks about.
Dopamine.
And like
instant gratification.
We were discussing off air. I'm not even sure if Bill was on the call yet, but there's a girl we know who fucking sweetest girl alive when you talk to her, but she progressively becomes more and more naked on social media just to earn likes and look for things. Not legitimately naked, as naked as you can get in the fucking Facebook realm.
Who is this? I forget. Who are we talking about?
You know? But it's like, as nice and sweet as she is in real life when we've spoken to her, she's just looking for that fucking, you know, that hit of fucking dopamine with the, you know, getting all the fucking compliments. It's like the fucking thirst traps these chicks set out there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's the thing. It's a tool. It's got to be utilized. Like, we do our show. You know, I fucking do the podcast. I never met Don, but I talk to him more than I talk to my boys in real life. If you listen to the last episode, I was telling the story how I just freaking jumped out of the car. Like, it picked me up, and within going around the block, I was like, just taking me in my car. I'm done. I can't even hang out today. I came home and I watched Incident in the Ghostland. It was the best movie I ever made. It's like, I never have time to watch movies I just want to watch. That's not homework, so I did it. But like, I met Bill once in person. It was amazing. Like, you know, I never met T, but we do our show, and I talk to her, and that's real. Like, when we talk offline, like, oh, these are the problems that we're dealing with of the day. Like, she's telling us what's going on, and then this is going on, and Bill's telling us what's going on in his life. You know what I mean? Like, we established real relationships via the technology. It's not like we're posting pictures on, oh, we're the Horror Mafia podcast and everything's great. No, we'll fucking talk offline about all our problems and shit. Like, it's not like it ends when the show ends. You know what I'm saying? So it is real. Like, and you know, Dave Z, Watson, all these other guys, you know, yeah, we're not chatting every day on instant messages, but we've had long discussions on video chat, on instant messages before, and talked about real things in life, not just, you know, oh, what do you think about this movie? You know what I'm saying? So it is real, but it's also could be not. Like if you're sitting there posting fucking half naked pictures to get fucking likes on a page, what's the purpose of that? You know, if you're talking about, oh, I'm going through this in life, like how can we make things better? And it's like a little bit of optimism, you know, aggression out of it, or like, you know what I mean? It's like, why do you post something? Do you post something to have a conversation about something? Do you post something because you want to get the hits of dopamine and want to feel good? Do you post stuff because you want to make things aware? Like, oh, we got a new episode out. Listen, I don't know, you know? I mean,
I post shit to make people laugh.
yeah, of course. You know, it's funny to catch a nice meme, catch a nice link. You know, like T, she posts all the stuff that, you know, oh, they're coming out with the new Joe Bob Briggs thing. And like she lets people know in our group what's going on around the world of horror, you know, like it's not like, you know, you try to, you know, fill our listeners in on what the deal is.
Right.
And, you know, it's just about being conscious of it, you know, because believe me, I'm guilty of it. I would sit there for fucking think about it all day long, hours upon hours a day on fucking Facebook. Now I'm on it daily, but nowhere near what I used to be, you know?
Yeah, I hear you.
I pick it up, I check our group, I check a couple other groups. That's it. Put it away. Like I'm not scrolling news feeds and sitting there wasting my time away. Instead,
I hear you, man.
I'm gonna savor it and fucking watch Black Mirror. It's like that.
See, I sit there with my own shit, and I'm like, even when I'm like posting often, I don't really look at Facebook that much. Like I go on, post whatever bullshit I want to post, and then I'm kind of out.
Me too, man.
Right.
So does that make me like some kind of weird selfish fuck? Because I don't necessarily give a fuck what everybody else is doing.
Dude,
you know?
I hear you completely. Like I can post a bunch of shit on Facebook and then leave for like 3 days, and then come back and I'm with you.
This is the thing. Like, there's nothing wrong with using social media. There's nothing wrong with it. But like, if it's fucking with your daily life, like if you're in a marriage and you can't have a conversation because somebody's always glued to their phone, like, all right, maybe we need to have a fucking technology intervention. Like,
sure,
iPads at dinner for the kids, no phone, you know, like shit like that needs to be implemented in society today, you know? Yep. But it doesn't mean, oh, I'm not going to go on Facebook all week long. Like, yeah, sometimes you need a hard break for sure. But like, if you use it in moderation where you don't go in all these wacky pages where people are fighting, dude, our group page, we don't tolerate none of that fighting shit.
That's right.
Twix, Donnie will whack you. What are you kidding me? Like, we keep it civil. You know, we crack jokes. We have fun. We post stuff about horror, right? Food, mafia. You know what I mean? We're having fun, you know? Same thing, like I'm in the VHS group. I'm having fun in there. The VHS misfits, you know? People post all sorts of crazy shit, but like, yo, so far I haven't dealt with any drama, no fucking bullshit. And if I did, bro, I just turn it off. It's fucking Facebook. It's not real.
Yep.
It's real. That's the question. Are we in the Matrix? I don't know. I think this is a conversation we're going to definitely have in the near future because we'll be doing some more Black Mirror episodes. And I think we really did well on our first episode back, gentlemen. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
We went balls deep. So, all right, let's rate this episode then. Final thoughts? Wow. What a fucking clash of emotions, man. I mean, phenomenal storytelling to capture such a tight story in such a short amount of time and display, you know, the range of emotion that it did. I think it shows testament to the filmmaking. And I think the slow buildup of, you know, him being a little message to a voice to an actual thing is what makes it seem more feasible, more realistic, rather than just like calling up and getting an automatic body. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go with a 4.5 out of 5. I think it's one of the better episodes I've seen, but I know I've seen a better couple, and I can't wait to see more. Kick it to J-Mac. Forgot I'm hosting.
I'm gonna give it a pretty solid 4, only because I know, like I said earlier, there's probably, like, I don't think I'd even put this in my top 5 of Black Mirror episodes. I think Bill posted that he was watching this, and somebody, I forget who it was, commented on your thing and named a couple episodes, and the episodes that person listed are all like fucking top tier dopeness. So hopefully we'll get to that in the near future. But yeah, man, to me, all that shit about, just how that social media shit, you put so much out there, but it's not even really you. You know what I mean? And the fucking, like, you could put out, you have this fucking perfect life or whatever the fuck it is, but the shit it's not real. And maybe it's the fucking imperfections we have that keep us close to the people around us more so than what's right about us,
Yeah.
Maybe your wife wants you to nut quick, Joe.
Well, that's the thing. That's what she wants. She wants his imperfections. It's what makes us who we are. You know what I mean? Like, by him not fighting back and arguing with her and being like, okay, I'll jump off the thing. Sure, no problem. No.
No.
That's why me and my wife
get along life. So well. Like, dude, I really don't want to do this.
Yeah. Fucking nuts. So I'm with you, brother. And Billy Boy?
Yeah, again, this is like one of a handful of episodes I've seen, and I gotta say, is it better than the ones I saw? Not really. I'm actually giving this one, before I give a rating, I want to say that Mr. Gleason was amazing in this. I loved his every scene. I thought that the character of Martha, played by Haley Atwell, was kind of a bitch and kind of a really selfish bitch. Like, she was given everything she wanted, and like, now I want more.
Oh, I did not feel that at all.
Oh, I did. I was like, oh.
How is he selfish?
Yeah, selfish.
How?
Your dude died. Here's your dude again. I don't want him. Like, oh my God.
Well,
you make it sound so cut and dry.
I think also something. Say this shit exists, like, it wouldn't put it past. I wouldn't put it past, like, this day and age for something, not obviously not as advanced as this, but something like this for some corporation to figure out a way to capitalize on people's grief. You're fucking devastated. You lost somebody close to you.
There'll be someone making money off it. Yeah, of course.
Like, because he even says on the phone when she's always talking to her, there's another level to this, but it's a little
press one.
Yeah, it was something about being expensive. I forget how he worded it. It's a little.
No, he said it's not cheap.
Yeah, it's not cheap, but it's like, at that point, like, fuck.
Holy shit! How can I forget? I could fucking forget this, bro. The house's effect on her. Right? How can I fucking forget this, bro?
Back to his house as a kid, right?
What does she do? She starts redesigning the whole interior, ripping the fucking place apart, painting everything, trying to escape his memory. That's a real life fucking grieving process.
But not his height.
But not his height. Yes, of course. That's fucking shows. You hold on to that little
piece, right?
The mother had the picture out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
How did I forget that little part? That was so important, bro.
Yeah. But no, I really hated her.
Like we said, he's up in the attic where the fucking mother puts everything to forget.
Yep. And I despised her character. I really did not like her. When she wasn't screaming or crying or whatever, or getting sex from a robot, I just didn't like her.
I think you're looking at this as if it was a slasher film or something.
No, not at all.
This shit spoke volumes.
See, not to me.
What about her cans, Bill? You like her cans?
Oh, I loved her tits. In fact, she said that. Your hands on my tit. I would have given anything to be that actor there. But no.
Wow.
I like her, but didn't like the character. I was like, yeah, whatever. So this one gets a 2.5 out of 5.
Ouch. Ooh, all right, all right, all right. We need more titties, Black Mirror, to get Bill's rating up, folks. We'll see what happens next week when we get to Crocodile. That is season 4,
I think 3.
episode 3 or something.
Could be wrong.
Look it up.
Somewhere in that fucking vein.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll be doing Black Mirror episodes, and then we might switch it over to another series, or we might do 2 movies, and we'll see what happens, folks. But with the Black Mirror episodes, definitely try to watch it before you listen, because we'll be going through it kind of in a similar fashion. I'm gonna attempt to dissect it the same way I did with this, and I like the way it unraveled in like a chronological telling. So if you watch it, you know exactly what we're talking about. And if you don't, well, hopefully you don't care about spoilers. So on that note, we'll be back with Alfred Hitchcock's Rope and Black Mirror season 4 episode Crocodile.
Oh boy.
It's good to be back, fellas.
Yeah.
Any last things you guys want to say?
Yeah, I hope my fucking microphone is fixed by then.
Saturday when we hit the Three Mothers trilogy.
Yeah.
Our Mafia podcast. So that'll be coming out on Monday. We just put out our Thanksgiving episode where we covered Home Sweet Home and Blood Rage and wrapped up season 2 of Sopranos with episode 12 and 13. Co-star J-Mac.
Yeah.
And that's it, folks. Check out the Instagram page.
The Instagram.
It's the Horror Mafia webpage.
Yeah, it's Horror Mafia now because I switched it over when Slice and Dice originally wrapped up. I'm not switching it back. I'll post our shit on that. So go find fucking Horror Mafia podcast _ between each word. And trying to keep up with that as much as I can while I was at work. I actually got to post you guys' newest episode. I never got around to it yesterday. But been working. It's been crazy.
I'm holding this week's check.
Doing the best I can, guys. I promise.
All right, folks. And if you have any questions, comments you want to send us, maybe even some requests, hit us up at what is our email? I don't even know. Do we?
I don't know.
It's email up on this right now. So hit us up at social media. Joey on Facebook, Bill Castanelli on Facebook, James McCarthy on Facebook, and Slice and Dice group page, Instagram page. Send us a message to JMac or send us a message on YouTube, Slice and Dice Redcast. We are here. We are back. New episode will be out in a couple weeks. See you then.